So welcome back. This is the second part of the ratios videos. This is part 2 of ratios, and we're going to be talking about liquidity ratios. Okay, before we move on to the ratios and calculations part, let us just go through what is liquidity, what is this thing all about. Now, if you look at the payment preferences of a business, so who would be the first person or the first entity a business would be paying to? On top of this list would be your suppliers. With suppliers, definitely your credit suppliers, जिनसे आप लोगों ने credit पे inventory purchase की थी. And where would they be? Definitely in your current liabilities in the SOFP section. Okay. So the first payment preference would be to suppliers. Why is that? If you won't pay them, they will stop supplying you with raw material or finished goods, whichever you were selling or producing. And exactly what's going to happen is कि आपके business की पूरी supply chain या फिर production chain या operation chain आपकी बंद हो जाएगी. Okay. The second preference for a business for payments would be routine expenses, which includes rent, wages and salaries, repairs, heating and lighting, and etc. etc. And the list goes on. Now, what's going to happen if you won't pay rent for a couple of months? If your premises is rented and if you won't pay it, definitely you have to let go of that premises, because definitely you would not be allowed by the original owner to work there. If you won't pay wages and salaries, staff would refuse to work. If you won't pay for repairs, your production process will slow down. If you won't maintain your non-current assets, your production process is going to slow down or stop, because routine maintenance would be needed. Heating and lighting, electricity and power, if you won't pay for that. So you can imagine how your business is going to go about it. Now, moving on, the third payment preference for the business would be long-term liability and loan interest. Like from the long-term liability, I would mean repayment of loans and loan interest. That would be third on the payment list. And finally, the least preferred payments the business would like to make is owner's profit share, also known as drawings or dividends in a form of a company dividends. So this is the payment preference for any business. All right. So now moving on, let's discuss sources for these payment preferences, or sources not of, I would say, sources, there's sources to pay for these payment preferences. Which sources would I be using uh, to pay these payments that the business would like to pay? Number one, the most liquid thing that the business has, that is in hand, which is cash in hand. Then business would look at the cash at bank. Then a business would go and ask their trade receivables, also known as your credit customers. You'll ask them to pay because you have sold goods on credit to them. And then you will try to sell inventory, or you will sell your non-current asset just to have some money, or the owner would invest from personal savings, or you can borrow loans. Now, the most important aspect of this is trade receivables, when they'll pay you either in the bank or through cash. If you're going to sell inventory, if you're going to sell it on credit, so see, this procedure will follow. You will sell it on credit, inventory becomes your trade receivable, and then these trade receivables will pay you in the form of bank or cash, but that's a later process. Or you can sell directly inventory in the form of cash or bank. You can sell inventory on credit, or you can sell inventory on cash. You can sell your non-current asset. Again, it depends. You would like, if you would be selling your non-current assets to pay your routine expenses, then you would be needing cash or money in the bank to make settlements. Or investing personal savings, yes, personal saving, that is either in the form of cash or bank. You will borrow loans, definitely. When you'll borrow loans, money is going to come in the bank account. All right. So, generally, if we look at this prospect, should they be selling non-current assets to pay the suppliers? No, this is a situation which is like, worse come worse, these three things should happen. A business should never sell their non-current assets to pay their suppliers. Why? Because if they're going to sell their non-current assets, how would they operate? Their operation is going to suffer badly. Owner should invest from personal savings. Nahi. Owner should invest from personal savings for investments into profitable projects, not for repayment to suppliers. Suppliers को पैसे देने के लिए भाई, the business should be generating enough by itself to pay its suppliers. It's not the owner who should be putting money in the business. Borrowing loans, again, these three things, they should have one objective: for long-term profitable investments. You should raise money from these three pointers just for the purpose of long-term profitable investments. Okay? Rather than payments to supplier or payments for routine expenses. You should use these three means for long-term profitable investments, which will generate future profits for you, future cash flows for you, but not for the routine thing. So the thing is, how would you be able to pay your suppliers? What should be the sources? You should have enough inventory. You should have enough customers in hand. You should have enough money in bank or in hand to settle your customers. Now, moving on to some identification. Your current assets, they're always sequenced in this order: closing inventory, trade receivable, bank, and cash. Your current liabilities, we are ignoring prepaid and accrued expenses right now. Trade payables, bank overdraft. There's just going to be one situation. Either you'll have money in the bank or you'll have a bank overdraft. तो एक ही business में ये दो situations कभी नहीं होंगे. Now, you know why do we rank them in such an order? From least liquid asset to the most liquid asset. Cash, I call cash as the most liquid asset. Why do I do that? Because, you know, if you have cash, you can convert cash into anything you would like. Like, for example, आपके पास cash है, you go to a store, you can convert that cash into stationery, grocery. You can convert it into anything that you wish to. It has a tendency of converting itself into anything that you wish for. ठीक है? Then the next category of liquid asset is bank. Money in the bank can again easily be converted into anything that you would want. Sometimes you have to convert it into cash and then it will have the same liquid feature. So the second least liquid, the most liquid asset is bank. Third is trade receivables. You can encourage your credit customers to pay you early by giving them discounts, by giving them some offers, by giving them some lucrative incentives so that pay you early. So trade receivable will either put money in your bank or would give you cash and then you can convert it. But your inventory is the least liquid asset. You cannot sell at your will. This is something which you cannot sell at your own will. Matlab, if you have opened up a store and if you, in the morning, if you're thinking that, okay, today I'm going to sell 50,000 worth of inventory, that's not in your hands. It is totally dependent. It is totally, the selling of inventory depends on the customers. You as a business is dependent upon customers who would come and buy. They might not. You might sell more than that, you might sell less than that. So this is something which is not in your control. So that is why it is the least liquid assets. Okay, now, so if I have to pay, moving on to the important part now. Let's suppose I have to pay my payables, which is 30,000, which are 30,000. बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट नहीं है मेरे पास कुछ भी. I have an inventory of 50,000. Let me just erase it. So that we can work out with our example. Okay, I have inventory of 50,000, trade receivables of 45, bank 15, and cash of, let's suppose, 7,000. If I have to pay my payables 30,000 and the payables are like, pay us right now, there and then. ठीक है जी, आ जाए आप, कैश से आप पे कर देंगे, कैश खत्म. बैंक से आप पे कर देंगे, बैंक खत्म. रिमेनिंग आप क्या करेंगे, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल से ले लेंगे 8,000। सो 8,000 के बाद आपकी पोजीशन क्या होगी, योर लाइबिलिटी विल बी वाइप्ड ऑफ, बैंक इज गॉन, कैश इज गॉन, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स विल बी 37,000 लेफ्ट। ऑलराइट, देन यू गोना बाय सम मोर इन्वेंट्री, तो इन्वेंट्री बढ़ेगी, पेबल्स बढ़ेंगे, और फिर वो जब सेल होंगे तो इन्वेंट्री कन्वर्ट होगी रिसीवेबल में, रिसीवेबल कन्वर्ट होंगे बैंक एंड कैश में, एंड द थिंग्स आर गोना गो ऑन। This is an ideal situation. Why? If you look at how much current assets you have to pay your current liabilities, it's 95 plus 15 is 110, 127,000 के current assets to pay your 30,000 की current liability. Easy peasy, 1,27,000 के current assets हैं तुम्हारे पास to pay 30,000 की liability. लेकिन हमने अभी डिस्कस किया कि यार हमारे पास तो ये वाला जो मामला है क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री, दिस इज द लीस्ट लिक्विड एसेट। कैन वी रिलाई ऑन क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री टू पे आवर सप्लायर्स? नो, वी कैन नॉट रिलाई, वी कैन नॉट रिलाई ऑन क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री टू पे सप्लायर्स। सो ठीक है जी, how much liquid assets do we have? These three will be my liquid assets. So मेरे पास liquid assets, current assets की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Liquid assets would be 45 plus 50, 60, 67,000 against the liability of 30,000. Easy peasy, easily the business can repay their suppliers. इनको रीपे करने के बाद 30,000 रीपे आफ्टर रीपेमेंट मेरे पास बैलेंस बच जाएगा 37,000 का, which I can further use to repay my day-to-day expenses. All right. So from 67,000, I'll pay 30,000 my liability, and the remaining balance is going to be 37,000, जो कि मैं routine expenses की payment के लिए definitely रखूंगा. ठीक है? So the point that I want to make over here, that I want to clarify is that from your assets, current assets, you pay your current liabilities. Whatever is being left is there to pay routine expenses. अब day-to-day expenses के लिए can I rely on inventory? No. We cannot rely on closing inventory. We cannot rely on closing inventory to pay payables and day-to-day expenses. We need to have some liquid assets. All right. Now, imagine a situation where a business has this situation: current assets, current liabilities. Inventory 50,000, account receivable 20,000, bank and cash 5,000, 2,000, and trade payables 35,000. Now, if we look at current assets against current liability, so the total would be 50, 20, 70, 70, and 7 is 77 against the liability of 35. Fair enough. बहुत आसान है, कोई मसला ही नहीं है, आराम से देख ली जाएगी. But if I do the comparison of liquid assets against current liability, in this would be, these are the liquid assets. Your liquid assets are receivable, bank, and cash, which is 27,000 against a current liability of 35,000. अब आप फंस गए क्योंकि you have to pay 35,000, but you only have a liquid assets of 27,000. And and your business is yet to pay day-to-day expenses, because day-to-day expenses is the second preferred पेमेंट. तो अब आप ऐसे फंसे कि यू डोंट हैव लिक्विड एसेट्स टू पे योर करंट लायबिलिटीज. अब क्या करोगे? करंट लायबिलिटीज ही पूरी नहीं हो रही लिक्विड एसेट से, और इन्वेंट्री पे रिलाय नहीं कर सकते, सो अब फंस गए. अच्छा, नाउ व्हाट कैन बी डन इन सच सिचुएशंस? एक नॉर्मल बिजनेस क्या करता है? बहुत इजीली वो बिजनेस कहता है ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, मैं बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट ले लेता हूँ. तो वो अपने बैंक को या ओवरड्राफ्ट में कन्वर्ट कर लेता है, बैंक ओडी. और बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट में क्या होता है कि जी एक बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट यहाँ पे जनरेट हो जाता है, बैंक वाले भी खुश हो जाते हैं. जो बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट होता है उससे आपकी लायबिलिटीज भी पे हो जाती हैं, डे एक्सपेंसेस भी पे हो जाती हैं, बट आपकी लायबिलिटी किसी एसेट से पे नहीं हो रही. योर लायबिलिटी इज बीइंग सेटल्ड बाय another liability. और फिर you need to generate more to pay that liability plus the return on that liability. बैंक पे जो ओवरड्राफ्ट मिलता है उस पे आपको उसका प्रिंसिपल प्लस इंटरेस्ट, you have to repay principal plus interest. Point that is important over here is करना क्या चाहिए बिजनेस को. ये तो मसला हो गया, बिजनेस के पास कुछ नहीं है. सोल्यूशन क्या है? सोल्यूशन, the solution to such problem. Number one, you should increase your inventory turnover. That means sell more inventory. Break the ice. This inventory is a frozen asset. Break it, melt it, convert it into receivable, बैंक और कैश. तोड़ो भाई इसको, ठीक है? अच्छा, how can you do it? There are multiple means of doing it. Promotions, discounts, offers. Promotion offers जिसमें bog off, buy one get one free, after sale services, warranty and all. You can give more and more promotions. Discounts आप offer कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद promotions, discounts, 10% off, 20% off, customer loyalty cards. आजकल सारे सुपरमार्केट्स कस्टमर लॉयल्टी कार्ड्स बना के दे रहे हैं कि अपने पॉइंट्स बनाएं और वापस आके पॉइंट्स रिडीम कर लें. Why are they doing it? They're doing it to just bring you back into their business and into their store. Okay. क्या होगा इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर इंक्रीज करने से? You will sell more and you will convert your least liquid asset into a liquid asset. Or if you want to just phrase it down, you will मेल्ट द आइस। आपके पास जो पैसे थे, जो आपके पास लिक्विड एसेट था, आपने इन्वेंट्री खरीद के उसको फ्रीज कर दिया था। मेल्ट द आइस सो दैट यू हैव मोर लिक्विडिटी इन द बिजनेस, ताकि आप अपने सप्लायर्स को एंड अपने रूटीन एक्सपेंसेस को इजीली पे कर सके। I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next recording. Thank you.